Audio hijack. Do you have that running? I do not.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. All right.
Just started it when you said I'm about to do auto gain. So that was
okay.
right when I hit start.
Is this streaming?
It is streaming because I didn't turn the block off.
Okay. What's the URL? It is become a tip jar subscriber and you might learn.
Yeah, there you go. Good tag. I was gonna say make sure you cut that part out of the show. Yeah, good deal. While you're checking out the live stream, I'll tell you the reason I needed to record early because
it's not reading every second to me. I am so happy.
Yeah, awesome.
I wasn't sure which one of you was laughing because you were laughing right after I said that. I've closed it now, but that's always a bit confusing.
Yeah, that'll be the next thing to work on for it. Then is to try to figure out the lag issues.
It's not horrible. Oh, and I didn't get an ad, by the way.
Oh yeah, because I fixed that. That was something that was embedded in the code for the player. So yeah. So people should now see our logo for our podcast, not whatever random generic, I forget the name of this service, Oncast logo. And then that ad, yeah, that was kind of something they had embedded in the code of the player. I don't know what triggered it to play and not play, but yeah, I fixed all that. So next thing will be trying to tweak the latency once I figure out how to do that. So live stream should be good for next week's show, and hopefully next week's show will be on time as it is normally supposed to be instead of some random weird middle of Sunday afternoon.
This is weird. This is really weird, just so you know.
Yep, I know.
Although I am thankful that we're doing it now because I think we're going to end up going out to dinner afterward. So, kind of worked out.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad I was like, yeah, this scheduling ain't going to work out. So I worked yesterday, which would have been Saturday. The reason we had to reschedule from Saturday, and it's fine to leave. Hold on. It's fine to leave this in the show. I don't care. So I had to go work Saturday, and I went up to go do the rest area, and it just took extraordinarily long because I'm training a new person, and I had to go behind them and show them a few things, a few mistakes that they made, etc. And I wasn't even doing the full rest area. It just took way longer than I expected to do both sides. So I called Mike and was like, we're going to have to record tomorrow because I'm not going, or later, either record late or record on Sunday because I wasn't going to make it back to the house before 9. I could already see that. Because I could tell where we were. Because for a while I didn't call you because I was like, well, maybe the second side will go a little bit faster for her, but it didn't. So yeah. There's that. Now with me and Mike, we're going to record today at our normally scheduled time that we normally record on Saturday, just on a Sunday, which is typically what happens when we need to move
typically
today.
A backup plan.
So this is going to end up being a shorter show for scheduling reasons. We're going to cover not everything that I wanted to talk about in this specific episode, but we'll chat it up about a few things, and before we leave, we will reveal, or I guess I will reveal, the winner of the Scanner runoff.
I'm excited. I'm more excited than I should be about this. By the way, I did not GPT that manual. I'm sure you knew that, but I did not GPT it.
I kind of forgot about it, actually. I figured out how to do what I needed to do so I could finish testing it out. Anyway, I just was curious if your results were going to be the same to mine, but we can jump into the conversation about GPT that I wanted to have, which is, first, you're doing some cool stuff with GPT and Copilot, but the thing I wanted to chat with you about on the show is, I know that you have in the past, I know you've canceled and restarted your subscription at least once, if not more than once, with GPT. Pro Plus, right? Yeah.
Plus.
Whatever the $20 a month.
Plus is 20.
That's why I had to think about it for a second. Like, no, Pro is not
they
what you think.
Both start with P. It doesn't help. Come on. Open the eye.
Well, Plus, because everybody was doing Plus.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I know you've done that. I have not ever canceled my Plus subscription with GPT. I have canceled. I've canceled all the other ones I'm paying for, or was paying for. I think at some point I canceled and then renewed, and then have canceled again. Perplexity. or Claude, one of them anyway. But the other thing that you've done, at least on one occasion, was completely reset your GPT, like have it be like, forget everything you know, whatever that process looks like. So, and I've been fighting with GPT here lately because it seems like it's getting dumber. When everybody else is like, oh, it's getting so awesome. I'm like, yeah, it's really giving me back dumb results, or stuff that doesn't make sense, or inaccurate information.
So what model are you using most of the time?
Most of the time it is O4 Mini High, I think.
Okay. So I have the best of luck with 4.0. That gives me, in my opinion, the best results when it comes to either it doing some research for me or writing up letters for me and stuff. For example, I told it don't use M dashes ever. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but everything it has now, anything it generates seems to have an M dash in it. So definitely recommend telling it not to use that. Otherwise, it's a clear giveaway that you probably used AI, because I'll tell you what, I ain't seen as many M dashes since OpenAI started using them. And yeah, I do remember deleting everything out of it. That was probably 2 years ago now. I have not done it. I'm nervous a little bit to do that again myself, just because I've built the rapport with ChatGPT, but I also wonder what the experience would be like myself. So maybe you should go through that process and let me know, and share with the show. The thing about resetting it, though, is you obviously need to reteach it everything, mostly your writing style. So have you taught GPT how you like responses, and is it still giving you those type of responses?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. So what I would do prior to resetting it is tell it, generate a prompt I can give to GPT that matches the current way you write for me. That way you have that you can copy into drafts, and then you can drop it in to Chat GPT after you reset it. And that should help a lot with it. I'm realizing I'm not signed into Chat GPT, but I wonder, I'm going to check, can I read you? I really hate it listening to VoiceOver read the characters that I type. Have you noticed, at least with ChatGPT in Safari recently, and this has not always been the case, but recently you've been able to read the messages again?
I did notice that here recently. It's giving me terrible information. But yeah, I could read the terrible information in Safari. I didn't have to go to...
Try messing with your models, though, before you reset, and see if you switch to a different model if the experience is better.
Yeah, that was actually going to be my approach, was to first try switching back to a model that was working pretty well before switching to these newer models, and see how that behaves, and play around with that before I just reset it.
3.0 for coding and for analyzing code and stuff like that, and other tools related to that in VS Code. And Jeff just introduced me to a new extension called Boost My Prompt, or Boost Prompt, or something like that. And that will boost the prompt that you give Copilot to help better get you the results that you're looking for with Copilot. So I'm going to play with that here shortly. But anyways, I use 3.0 for that, and then for coding and analyzing data. And then I'm using 4.0 for general day-to-day research, etc. I just find it to be a little better. I have noticed, I don't know if you've played with this at all, but there is an enhanced voice mode now. And yeah, GPT needs to go to Toastmasters. Just saying. I stole that one from Jeff, because Jeff made the same comment. It says a lot more than it should, and it's trying to give it that more natural language. But I don't know anyone, well, I mean, I say a lot, but I don't know anyone that says as much as GPT was there for a little bit. He told me you can tell it to go to Toastmasters and say less.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I've noticed that as well. I hadn't used voice mode in a while, because it's shakier now a little bit than it used to be. See, I just said
You're gonna be aware of it now.
Yeah, because you said something. But it has been a little shakier in the past with it. You were able to interrupt it more easily Whereas now it starts on the thing, you're like, no, that's not even what I asked. But more to the point, and again, it could be the model. Maybe I should try changing the model and playing with that. So I'll do that. It tends to, now I'm trying not to say
And I don't edit ums out anymore like I used to. So
it tends to get lost, at least with the probably same model 4.0 mini, I'm guessing, or whatever model. I'll have to actually have to check the app to see what it's using. But it gets lost. Like having a long conversation, like it'll get lost or start suggesting things that like, nope, we're not doing this, or that's not what I said, or I asked about this, not that. Yeah, it's not listening at all. It's just regurgitating crap, basically, is what it really feels like. I know it's not quite that, but it kind of gives it that feeling. But I will attempt to change models and spend some time with it and see if that helps. Thanks for the tip on 3.0, because I have been using whatever it's supposed to be. Oh, it's super great at coding model, and that really was giving me bad crap code. Like if I can look at, yeah, you're using 3.0. I was using whatever the latest model was.
4.5 turbo.
Yeah, whatever.
I don't even know. See, this is what they need to work on. Retire certain ones a little sooner and give them different model names instead of just random numbers that are 3 or 4s.
Because 3.0 makes absolutely no sense, because regardless of how it's written, when you say it, it sounds like 3.0, like 3.0 is what you're saying. And the very first model that we ever had access to was at the end of 2022 was 3.5. So like that doesn't even make sense. It's confusing. But I sort of feel like that's kind of intentional to a certain extent. Because people can't accurately judge how good or bad your thing is doing and progressing if they can't even remember which model is supposed to be the newest, can they?
And if you ask the AI which model is the newest, it has no clue. Like, I mean, it might, but they would not be surprised if it's like, I don't know, it's this model. So, yeah, that's where I would start instead of erasing all your data, because I think this relates to why I don't have as good of experience with other AIs, is because the other AIs don't know me as well as GPT does. And I've been using GPT since December of 22. The same account. Yes, I've stopped paying for it. Yes, I've paid for it again. I think I've done that twice, actually. And because the first time, one of us, it was me. No, it was Jeff that canceled his subscription, and then he went to go back and they put him on a wait list. I don't know if you remember that. Yep. And so
that happened to you too.
Yeah, that's right. It did, didn't it?
And I was like, oh, well, I guess I'll just keep paying for mine.
Yeah.
That's how they kept me on the first time. Like, that's how they originally kept me on. That's because I was like, if I need to go back and pay for it because I start hitting those limits, and it's like, no, I need this, I don't want to be on a waiting list.
Yeah. So I need to use it now.
Michael's experience, and I do remember Jeff. Michael's experience with that is what kept me from canceling a couple of times when I was like, I'm not using it all that much right now.
So, yeah. Anyways, with my other AI experiences, I think it's because it doesn't know me as well. Now, that being said, however, there is a lot to say about the interface as well, because though there's some frustrations at times with the chat.com website, it's still got the best interface, I think.
Absolutely. Like, that's what made me cancel Claude, is because its interface was so terrible. It had gotten so bad. It was already rough to begin with. But yeah, that and Perplexity both have had issues. And I've tried with those models to do some, or with those services to do some of the same tuning that we've done with GPT. Now, at some point, it's probably just a model switch. GPT forgot that, you're supposed to give me everything with headings for logical things. But I tried that with Claude, and one of them, it was either Claude or Perplexity. Like, it just didn't matter. Like, it took it in like it, was going to adjust for that, but it just never did. And I think it may have been Claude, but I could be wrong. It was one of the two.
Sounds like a Claude thing.
So yeah, that's why I'm kind of in GPT and still using it, is because that interface is better across the board. Just navigating around. There are some issues with it here and there. We still got those unlabeled buttons in a couple of places. I don't know what they do, but the copy button is now there, and the read aloud button is labeled. So
and those are the two that I use.
We're getting there. For sure. So I will try those things. We will catch up with Michael's adventures on some of the cool stuff he's been doing with GPT and Copilot in the next episode. And let me put that in our draft that I saved with all the topics.
Well, that's cool. I knew you could do that. Did you know in the voiceover utility, you can go into verbosity and then go to text, and then there's an option to speak number of spaces or speak level or play a sound of or customize indentation.
I saw that. I haven't played with it.
That would be helpful for Python.
It would be helpful for coding in general.
While typing, change
most of them
nothing.
Most of them have some sort of indentation, even if it's just, code style, just so stuff looks good visually or whatever.
So I've had this issue. I think I've talked about it on the show a time or two. I know I have definitely complained about it with Demasi on the phone, that when I plug my headphones into my MacBook Pro, which again was acquired in November or October of 2024, the M3 Pro, whenever I plug headphones into the headphone jack, after the sound card goes to sleep 3 seconds later, it will play a loud clicking sound in typically the right channel. So I finally broke down, which really means Mallory got tired of hearing the click and saying, and told me, you should really call Apple and find out if they can give you any sort of feedback, or you can get it repaired based on what it is going on. So I called Apple, and they're like, naturally, why don't you reset your computer? And then she had the audacity to ask me, do you know how to reset your computer? Like, yes, I do. Done it in my life. Thank you. Appreciate it. Then she asked if I knew how to back things up. Anyways, so
it's like I do a tech show.
Right.
I
You should
teach
listen
people
to
how to do
Technically
this.
Working.
Yeah, you should go check out Technically Working. You're all about how the different ways you can do backups. Like,
so went through that, still had the same issue, made sure I was up to date, and then the next step was to send it in. So I sent it in. It left my house Wednesday afternoon. It left FedEx on Thursday morning. I had it back in my hands by noon on Saturday. So pretty quick return. I have not noticed the clicking on the Mac anymore. I thought I did yesterday, but I think part of that might have been other related things, or maybe it was clicking and it's gone away now. I'm not certain. So I will experiment over the next week and see if I have a better experience. But before I even shipped in the computer or set up the computer or anything, I didn't even install Audio Hijack or Loopback. So all of my voiceover settings are at default. And what I'm doing is I'm learning more about the voiceover utility, because I'm not importing all of my settings. I'm going in and setting them up as I think I should. So for example, I cannot run AppleScript. Why is this? Oh. Huh? And I run into little things like this. Like I just ran a shortcut and got an error message that said shortcuts cannot run because your voiceover settings don't allow scripting. So I did not know that unless you go into your general voiceover settings and the utility, and then go down to allow voiceover to be controlled by AppleScript, you have to turn that on in order to run shortcuts. Now let's see if this works. If I run that, oh no. It says, oh, my shortcut security settings don't allow me. Okay. See, sometimes we need to listen to the error message and not assume what the error message is. So now I need to go into shortcut settings and make changes. And it's little things like this that I'm discovering that I need to fix, which is always fun. So now I'm going into shortcuts and then advance and then allow running scripts. And I'm going to allow sharing large amounts of data. I'm not going to let it delete large amount of data without asking. It should do that for me. Now I'm going to hit this shortcut, and it runs like it should. Anyways, that was a lot of just yammering to say that My Mac is back. I'm slowly going through the process of resetting it up. I have not installed Launch Bar. I'm giving Alfred a try.
Ah,
So we're going to do that over the next week and see how long that lasts. Mainly because someone has posted 5 or 6 audio files on AppleVis about using Alfred with voiceover. And I'm like, I should try that again. It's been a while since I tried it. I'm pretty sure I'm going to switch back to Launch Bar though, because I haven't even like set it up yet. I downloaded it, but I think so. I'm not going to pretend like I make the sounds, but do you know the 2-tone sounds that voiceover makes when things refresh and stuff like that? It's like doo-doo.
yep.
It seems to do that whenever you arrow through, and I think that's going to drive me crazy. So we'll see. Huh, the delay is not bad on the live stream. It's down to like 15 seconds.
Good deal. When I didn't even do anything.
Yeah. Maybe we just needed to give the server a good workout.
Yeah, maybe. Or just remove some of that.
Oh, I lied. It's closer to like 45 seconds to a minute. Yeah. That happens.
It happens. We'll work that out. Could be a resource thing too. Like I'll do some poking around when I get back to it, for sure. But live stream is working, and people won't know that they're 45 seconds delayed because they're not saying the thing and then hearing it, 45 seconds later, and be like, wait, what? All right, so I'm gonna wrap this up with the winner of the scanner pick, partially because I posted about it on Mastodon, so we should give it to people. The rest of whatever I mentioned in that conversation, because I don't remember now, we'll get to that next week. But I'm going to reveal for everyone the winner of the scan off. So I'll start with the 3 scanners that I narrowed down to that I was interested in to begin with. And I'll give you a little bit of likes and not likes, and then let you know who won. All right, and these are in alphabetical order, so you can't determine who won based off the order of this. I'm going by the company name or manufacturer name. So we have the Brother, should I read this right? DS940DW is one choice I tried. The Epson Rapid Receipt RR70W and the ScanSnap IX100. Now, the ScanSnap IX100 has been around for at least a good 10 years. It has been around for a bit, but it is battery powered. My requirements were something that ran off of a battery, that could connect to mobile, so I could scan on the go and would, get decent life off the battery, so I could leave it in the van most of the time, and probably on longer trips to certain places be able to charge it up because I would be in the van long enough for it to actually charge. Obviously the software should be accessible that I have to use. Wasn't so much caring about what other stuff came along with it because I will figure out a reasonable OCR strategy here at some point in the future. I'm just trying to find something that ain't gonna cost me a ton of money. And that was mostly it. I did prefer if it had duplex scanning, which means it would scan both sides of the sheet of paper at once. Obviously I'm going to end up with a lot of blank sheets, scans that have 2 pages that are one side and one is blank. But that means I don't have to run stuff through twice to make sure I scan the right side, and I'm doing it more independently without taking up a whole lot of time. If it's going to scan both sides at once, boom, you shoot it through and I know I got the scan. Versus, let me bring out Seeing AI. Oh, this is not the printed side. I didn't want to go through all of that, right? And I didn't want to have to ask anybody. First was very difficult to find a scanner that did that. And that was not a breaking point. If I did have to figure out a way to deal with it, otherwise I would have. But that's one of those nice to have. It had to be battery powered, had to be portable, and had to connect to either mobile platform that I could be using. Other than that, the duplex scanning would have been nice. Extra software that came along with it that could be installed on a computer, whatever, cool, but not necessary. All 3 of these scanners are about the same size. Roughly, we'll say about 12 inches long, maybe. I'm guessing because I'm not looking at the specs of either one of them, but we'll say roughly about 12 inches long. Very narrow. They both basically are front-fed scanners, so you stick your paper or receipt or whatever through the front. And with the ScanSnap, I think the ScanSnap just came up out of the top, so you had to flip up its little top, which is also how you turned it on. And it would, roll the paper around. I don't think it had a way to feed out the back. The Epson rapid receipt scanner. Oh, it also included AI, the rapid receipt scanner. It included AI with some software that came with it. So, it's obviously the newest of all of these because it has AI. At any rate, I think it just fed straight through the back, like it went in the front, came out the back. The Brother will do both of those things, and I'm not saying for certain that the Epson doesn't do that. I guess I can make it a little short. The Epson did not win at all because, one, I couldn't figure out if it was on or off. And I figured I ain't need these kind of headaches. So I never even got to scan anything with it. So it did not make the cut for me. It has the way you turn it on and off, I think, is a spring-loaded switch, kind of like the Zoom players, but I never could get it to come on or go off or be certain when it was on or off. Like that's a part of the problem. There's no audible feedback or whatever. So yeah, that one I just was like, screw it. The software wasn't great, and I eliminated it because there's problems figuring out if you're on or off, which means I could kill my battery unintentionally by not having turned it off properly. And there's none of the other features that you offer are great enough to make me suffer through trying to figure that out. Like the Mac software was not spectacular in any sense of the word, accessibility wise. And I was really serious about this because I actually installed everybody's software to test out their stuff. So I went through the steps, but that one definitely did not make the cut. So now we're down to the ScanSnap and the Brother. So going back to the Brother. The Brother does the front feed scan, and you can have the paper go out of the back, or you can flip up a lid, and then it will, pull the paper around so it stands up. And that's really going to just be kind of dependent on what you're scanning and, how you want that to come out. So if I was scanning a business card, for example, that would just shoot straight through the back. If I was scanning a sheet of paper or a receipt, I could have that come out of the top so it doesn't, fly off or something. I don't know. But I like that option. The ScanSnap by far was the easiest to set up.
Okay.
Now I did do it from the computer initially, but it still was the easiest to set up because I could get into its settings from the computer, from the ScanSnap home app, and change things such as whether or not it was in Wi-Fi mode or not, set it up so I could put it in the correct mode to connect to my phone, all of this sort of stuff. It's by far the easiest. By far the easiest to use altogether because once it's charged up, like you close its lid down and it's little flip up lid down and it's off. You flip the lid up and it's on. Stupid simple to use. And for a while, it was like, I don't really have time to like deal with this crap. I'm just gonna pick the ScanSnap because I already have a ScanSnap that's plugged in, that's sitting down. That is the scanner I've been using. It's like, well, at least I'll be using the same software. Yada yada yada. But I actually spent a little time with the Brother, and I said, I'll just give it an actual chance before I send it back because the Brother offers duplex scanning. The ScanSnap doesn't. I was like, let's give the Brother a full test through as far as I can get with it before I just give up. And its software on the Mac is so-so. I have not connected it to my phone at all.
The Brother app is so-so on the phone too.
I remember that from having a Brother printer at some point, and it was kind of so-so. I actually think the LaserJet I have now is a Brother, but I just configured it through the web interface and it's done. I don't need to do anything else with it. It's on the network and it's on Ethernet, so we're good. So yeah, that hadn't tried because the scanner has a Wi-Fi password on the bottom that you have to connect to their network in order. And I was like, I don't feel like doing all that.
Right.
And that's also another fragile point of breakability. If I'm on the road with this and I'm using it and like I try to connect to it and for some reason, you need to re-enter the password or I don't have time for that crap. So I was like, screw the app, screw the mobile. So I'm going to ask Mike before I reveal the winner, if he wants to take a guess at which one I picked, the brother or the ScanSnap.
I'm guessing the ScanSnap.
So you would generally be right, except there's one feature of the brother scanner that I didn't mention, and it's the reason.
Not fair.
I know it really wasn't fair. And honestly, if it didn't work and I wasn't able to get it to where I wanted it to be, it would have been right. The ScanSnap would have been the winner. The brother also supports a micro SD card. Put it in there, scans straight to the SD card.
Okay, so you don't even have to mess with Wi-Fi. You just scan it, it's on your SD card, and then you can pull those in and put them wherever you want.
Yep. And it does the duplex scanning, so it is now configured for for independent scanning to the micro SD card that's installed. And it saves everything as a PDF. It's doing duplex scanning. And
does it save date as file name?
It does not. Its file names are the goofiest thing I've ever seen, and I have no idea what they're based off of. Absolutely nothing. Or no idea what they're based off of. And I haven't read through the manual thoroughly enough to find out, like, if is there a way somewhere to configure that? But their Mac app is kind of crap, so I don't think so. I tried to poke around to see if it was flexible enough to be tweaked and configured from the Mac, the way that the Snap was. But the two actually sold me were the micro SD card along and the duplex, and I can actually use it like it works. Still didn't play a sound when you turn it on or off, but press the power button once for like half a second, it's on. Press and hold it for 5 seconds, and it's off. And I've been able to consistently duplicate that or repeat that. So that's why it's the winner. So I'm going to Velcro tape it to the dashboard of the van on my side of the van. And when I get a receipt, I'm going to turn it on, shoot it right through there, and turn it off.
Longtime listeners, welcome back, Velcro tape.
Yep.
That's what I pulled out of that entire segment. Welcome back, Velcro tape.
Welcome back, Velcro tape. Yep. So that is the winner, the Brother DS 940DW.
Okay.
The Amazon listing has a whole bunch of extra crap after that, but that's basically what you need to search for if you're interested. The ScanSnap, like I said, would have been the winner. Still is kind of my favorite just for simplicity, in all honesty. And if it wasn't if it wasn't that standalone mode, that was the deal breaker right there, I think, for me, for the brother. If it hadn't been that, and it does duplex. Now, if it just had the standalone mode, but it only did, is it simplex? That doesn't sound right.
Duplex?
If it only did duplex is both sides, but what is
simplex is one side, one.
Oh, okay.
One to one.
That just doesn't sound right.
Right, it doesn't. At least in radio, simplex is direct, one-on-one. Duplex is talking back and forth like we're doing right now on Zoom.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, whatever you call it. If it only scanned one side of the paper at a time and I had to flip it over, I would have just went with the ScanSnap. But the duplex scanning and the standalone mode is what I wanted. If it only had one of those two features, it would have been ScanSnap, hands down, because it's just stupid simple to use. The only negative I really have about the ScanSnap at this point is that it's so old that it's using micro USB, which drives me slightly insane.
Yeah. Something on my desk uses micro USB, and I don't remember what it was. Oh, it was this Orbit 20 that's still sitting on my desk. It uses micro.
So
the Orbit Writer that I found in my bottom dresser drawer uses micro.
Uses micro, yep.
Yeah. Hable does not. Anyways, gotcha. So the winner is the brother scanner.
Yep. Where's the brother scanner? Nice. Why does the messages keep freezing?
Man, I want to talk about it. Zoom froze right before we got started, so I ain't touching Zoom.
Yeah.
But I've been having like 3 or 4 different conversations and 1, 2, 3 conversations and messages while we're talking. So mine's not freezing up. Although I'll tell you what's complicated is trying to figure out how to set up a group thread on the Mac. Oh no. I'll just set it up from my phone and then message someone, and then it'll pop up on the Mac because I struggled with that one. So, well, do we want to wrap it up then, sir?
Yep, we will wrap it up here because I'm going to hop in the van and run to Birmingham, I think.
All righty.
We want to thank everybody for listening. Episode, what was that, 113?
Yes, that was 113.
Was interesting. Hope everybody enjoyed that. We want to thank everybody who listens to the show. We appreciate you sharing the show with friends and associates, even just random strangers. Just, technically working. Adam.
You should listen to us on your office PA system. That's a little much.
Yeah.
Listen to us at work. How about that?
Yeah, listen to us at work if you can, and that way you keep your job and hopefully become one of the people that we love thanking and really appreciate their contributions as tip jar supporters. I didn't kind of mean for that to sound way that it may have sounded. Like, I'm grateful for every single listener, but special thanks goes out to the tip jar supporters. We appreciate all of you as well. You can follow us on Mastodon. I think some people just refer to it as the Dawn, but I don't know. Where you can follow us on Mastodon.
Yeah, Mastodon.
Yeah, because we're not doing the Dawn, and we're also not doing a pod either.
I was going to say that would mean that we're recording the technically working pod.
No, we're not doing that either. But he's Payon, Payown, at dragonscave.space. I am Damasi, Damashe, at technically.social. And you can follow our bot, who posts when new episodes are out and randomly posts other stuff too. Sometimes. But definitely not a high traffic poster. It's TW at technically.social.
Funny story about the bot before we wrap it up.
And it's interesting that I spill out each person's username in the bot I spell out the bot too because it's TW, so I'm still spelling it out.
Yeah. We talked about the bot and doing something or making a new bot or something. Funny story about the bot. Last week when I published that episode, tip jar subscribers got it early like normal. Well, they get it when I get it done. And then it went live and I'm like, why is this not went out? I better go check the bot to see if the episode went live, and the bot said that it went live. I'm like, okay, it's out there. It's just Castro needs to update. So I'm relying on the bot now too.
Cool. Also, hashtag technically working. And we appreciate it if you capitalize the T and the W. We want to thank everybody. I have not looked at feedback this week. We'll get into some more of that next week. This has to necessarily be a short episode, so we're going to wrap it right here. Thank you. This has been episode 114 of Technically Working.